I'll make it brief. It's not about me, it's about Andrew. Back when I was working with Stevie Wonder, I suggested that he name his album Hotter Than July, and he did. And so this is why we're having you out here. We want you to be hot. Yes. Okay, and the reason is because it's hot in America. The heat is on. We're in trouble. If we don't watch it, we're going to have a rollback of proportions that are just going to be devastating. It's not time to be comfortable, it's time to be uncomfortable. It's time to be motivated. It's time to move on, taking back what we're supposed to have. As quiet as it's kept, the progressive liberal coalition is the majority in America, but the right wing has hijacked it with chicanery and this, that, and the other. We are not in a position where we cannot prevail, but we must have vision, we have to have courage, and we have to be capable and competent, and that's what we have with Andrew Gillum.
I am a son, a product of a good public education system school board member. I know the challenges that Doc is facing when it comes to trying to make sure that every one of our children in this system have access to a high quality education that offers them the opportunity to learn and then go on and make a way for themselves. And whether that way is getting a skill in high school, like shop, mechanical, electrical, technical skills that you can monetize, get a job, and make a good living for yourself, or whether it is that experience is getting the access to education that you need, getting well trained to then go off to college in this state or around the country and make a good life for yourself. And unfortunately, in our system in this state, we have all but obliterated what it means to have access to job training skills that can then turn you onto a job without you having to make the choice to go on to college. Because we all got to face it. Everybody either might not be interested in a college education or they might not be quite cut out for it. And that shouldn't be the end of their lives. I want college to be accessible, affordable, and a good option for everybody. But an agenda that only focuses on that option and doesn't create a way for other people to make good use of their lives is a mistake. And we've been living in that mistake in this state and frankly across this country for a very, very long time. A Gillum administration would seek to change that. We will first make sure that our kids are arriving at kindergarten ready to learn, and that means real investments in early learning. Over 90% of brain development over the course of human life takes place between the ages of 0 and 5. Roughly 40% of our kids in this state are showing up at kindergarten not ready to learn. By the time they get to third grade, another 40% are not on grade level reading. And then we know what predictions start to get made about the trajectory of their lives based off of their literacy rates at that early point. And then we deal with graduation rates. And so what we need, in my opinion, is a governor who understands the systems that exist in this state and how they make those systems work for regular, everyday people here in the state of Florida. That you shouldn't have to be the most well-connected and well-heeled to have your interests taken up in the state of Florida. Shouldn't have to be that way. I'm trying to make it easy for you to be with me. I want you to be able to check every single box that you need to check. He's experienced. He's qualified. He has the right public policy making orientation, the right belief system to move this state forward. And guess what else? He's just like me.
Smart.
I'll take smart, right? Some days you may take that back. But what I mean by just like me is, I think this election might be a symbol that it actually doesn't matter where you start in life. Doesn't matter what your last name is or how much money you come from. That you can compete and that you can still win based off of the quality of your character and what you bring to the table. That should still be true in a state like Florida. As y'all know, we've been in a battle in Washington, D.C. Around the repeal of Obamacare, of which I fully support. I know that there are kinks that have to be worked out, but the repeal of Obamacare and the throwing off of 24 million Americans off of access to health care, I think is wrong, not only politically, I also think is wrong just as a human being. If I were governor of the state of Florida, I would do differently than what Rick Scott did. I would extend health care to the 1.5 million folks who would qualify for access to Medicaid who today don't have it because the governor had a philosophical disagreement with Barack Obama and decided he was not going to extend Medicaid. Now, as I said before, I think that was a wrong-headed decision because I don't know how any loving, caring human being deliberately denies access to health care for another human being. That's wrong. But I also think it's wrong because in that period of time, Florida has given back 21, count it, wrong, $51 billion that would have otherwise come into this state from the federal government that we refuse to take into this state because of our refusal to extend Medicaid access. $5 billion just last year alone, right? Can y'all think of the number of doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, medical professionals, home care providers, and the like that could have gone to work had we decided to do that? I mean, a lot of people could have gone to work, and that could have helped to fuel this state's economy in a way that we don't get the benefit from today. So my view on that is that we should extend Medicaid, and we should also pass a constitutional amendment in this state that says health care is a right and obligate the legislature to make sure that it is fulfilled. We should do that in the state of Florida.